So in this segment, we're going to be talking about probably one of my favourite events of March. Quote, I'm going to the Supreme Court to prove this Brexit deal is worse than remaining. Ben Habib. I mean, that's glorious. Absolutely glorious. A man who voted for this deal in the EU Parliament said, I'm going to the Supreme Court to go and prove the thing that I voted for is worse than remaining in the EU. Isn't that the most ironic title you will ever read? Honestly. Jesus, Ben. This is not just my view, it was backed up by the Court of Appeal in Northern Ireland earlier this week when they delivered their judgment of the Northern Ireland Protocol, which some of the stuff he says is a bit, I think he takes things, he misstates things, I'm going to say, in a general way, in my opinion. I said it in 2019 and I say it again, Johnson's deal is worse than remaining in the EU. Now, we're going to hold that thought for a second, pal. Why I will vote for the withdrawal agreement in the European Parliament. This was written in around 2019. Has he got a date on it? 2020 it was written, 7th of January 2020. So despite him saying that he knew it was a bad deal, Nostradamus over here voted for it anyways. He said, I said it in 2019 and I say it again, Johnson's deal is worse than remaining in the EU despite the fact that you penned this article. These people don't make sense, honestly. Kind of reminds me when Dominic Cummings was changing bits of his blog to make himself look smarter. It was, if you think I'm a Ramona, think again. I'm a steadfast Brexiteer. His wretched deal did not deliver Brexit. It only delivered monumental constitutional self-harm. Well, isn't that Brexit in a nutshell, big man? And disappointing as it is, the Court of Appeal judgment was no surprise to me. My fellow litigants and I never expected the final matter to be decided in Belfast. You're wasting a lot of money on this project. Who's funding you, big man? The Supreme Court has always been our destination, and that is now where we're heading. But the rulings in court in Belfast have been revealed. First and foremost, it is now twice decided crucial aspects of the Act of Union have been set aside to make way for the protocol. It's almost like one Act of Parliament can revoke a previous Act of Parliament, Ben. It's crazy. Justice Colton last year concluded they had been impliedly revealed. I don't even know if impliedly is even a word. The Court of Appeal, aware of the public sensitivity, aware of the political sensitivity of repealing the Act of Union, settled claiming it to have been subjugated for as long as the protocol remains in place. So he used the word subjugated there, which means bring under domination or control, especially by conquest. I mean, again, I doubt that's what the judge said at the time. But I think essentially saying one can repeal the other because a newer Act of Parliament can revoke a previous Act of Parliament. But okay, Ben, you can use your pretty words if you want. Either way, the protocol has robbed Northern Ireland of its rightful place in the United Kingdom. Now, level with me, Ben, okay? Who came up with the idea of the Northern Ireland Protocol? I believe it was Lord Frost and Boris Johnson. That's our former Brexit negotiator and our current Prime Minister. So to argue the protocol has robbed Northern Ireland's place in the United Kingdom wouldn't make sense when the protocol is a result of Brexit. So Brexit has robbed Northern Ireland's place in the United Kingdom. The Court of Appeal argued that Parliament, clear-sighted, gave the protocol this effect. Can you imagine any MP voting deliberately to end the United Kingdom? You'd think such a vote might capture their and the electorate's attention when it was debated in Parliament for ages. Boris Johnson even ran an election in part on the Northern Ireland Protocol because it solved the issues around the border. And let's not forget, Tory MPs were constantly lying about this. Brandon Lewis, this was on the 1st of January 2021, saying there is no Irish sea border. As we have seen today, the important preparations the government and businesses have taken to prepare for the end of the transition period are keeping goods flowing freely around the country, including between GB and NI. Brandon Lewis was slaughtered for that on the Andrew Marr programme, but the simple fact is, you can argue that, surely people should have cared more about this, when the simple fact is, I don't think people in England care much for Northern Ireland, for one, and secondly, Brexiteers said this wouldn't happen. So are you surprised people didn't care when you guys said this wouldn't happen? Come on, dude. Honestly, Ben, you need that real good A/S grade tier propaganda they got in the Telegraph. That really good propaganda. This is B and C tier stuff. This is things I can kind of debunk in the space of only an extra 1 or 2 articles. You need that S tier stuff, man. That's what I'm looking for. And this again, this against the backdrop of the Prime Minister repeatedly telling the House the protocol could be fixed with a little pragmatism and common sense. That is not a constitutional issue. And then Ben Habib writes, to say we have a Prime Minister in contempt of Parliament is to seriously underestimate the extent of his deception. Ben, did he deceive you back in 2020 when you voted for it, Ben? Is Boris Johnson really a master of deception, or did you choose to believe him? Or is it the case that you thought he would rip up the protocol as soon as he had the chance? I challenge any MP to declare they thought they were voting for Northern Ireland to be removed from its union with Great Britain when they voted for this deal. They may email the Express directly when, they're not going to email you, but they knew what was going to happen. If they didn't, they evidently didn't do the reading and due diligence they should have done, despite their £80,000 a year salaries. He says, I'm sure this paper would gladly publish their names. Well, Ben, mate, you might have to email in. I know you're not an MP, but Ben Habib, why I will vote for the withdrawal agreement in the European Parliament. Now, in this article, he did not mention Ireland once. So if we have a look at the old search, oops, if I can spell. Can you see Ireland? 0. Did he mention the word Northern? Nope. Ben Habib's 6 points, or 6 points for Brexit. I think it's 6. Go 7. 7 points, right? Removing the ECJ as the supreme judicial authority over the UK courts, which has happened for the most part, apart from Northern Ireland, which I think is still subject to the ECJ. Leaving the single market and customs union, which Great Britain has done, but Northern Ireland hasn't. Ending freedom of movement, which has happened. Making our own laws, we could have done that from the start. Taking full control of our territorial waters, we don't have that because we essentially traded away our territorial waters to get a trade deal with the EU, which made sense given how small fishing is for our GDP, and the fact that the fish we actually want isn't within UK waters, it's within Nordic waters, Scandinavian waters. Leaving the European Defence Union, bizarrely Miss May signed us up to this after the 2016 referendum. Well, I think we're out of that. So let's look at out of these points, right? He didn't mention Northern Ireland once, so his kind of concern over Northern Ireland doesn't make sense unless he's just trying to stay relevant in the media and have his spot in the Express, which I don't know how much they're paying him, because I reckon me and Max are the only people who actually read it. But most of these he got. Getting rid of the ECJ, he got that for the most bit. Leaving the single market customs union, GB has left. Free movement, that's gone. Making our own laws, we could have already done that, but okay, we've got that now. If that's what you want to call a win, fine. Taking back full control of our territorial fishing waters didn't happen, but that was an option we chose. Leaving the defence union has happened. So nowhere in this piece does he mention Ireland or anything. I can't see it anywhere. Can you? If you can, let me know if my eyes aren't functioning properly. But he voted for the withdrawal agreement. But now Nostradamus out here is talking about how he said it was going to be bad. He said, I said in 2019, and I say it again, Johnson's deal is worse than remaining in the EU. And Ben Habib on that point is going to the Supreme Court to prove it. Brexiteer, ardent arch Brexiteer, number one, well, top 10 Brexiteers, Brexit hardman Steve Baker, number one, obviously, is going to the Supreme Court to prove that Boris Johnson's Brexit agreement is worse than remaining in the EU. Could anyone back in 2016 have predicted a Brexiteer saying such a statement? Because I couldn't. Even in 2019, I could not have predicted this. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Read this at your own peril. Make sure you got your ad blocker on and have a good laugh. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. Thank you, Ben Habib, for giving me easy B-tier propaganda to pick through. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.